An inmate named Ray is serving his sentence. He is using the prison phone to speak with the psychologist whose radio program he follows.
You have been a great inspiration to our listeners.
He explains that his time inside has reshaped him, claiming he has changed and stepped away from violence. When he gets out, he's also planning to get someone special back. Yet when another inmate irritates him, his temper slips out of control and he ends up striking the man. After completing his sentence, Ray is finally released. Before leaving, he thanks the guard who watched over him and hands over the books he spent years reading. Most of them are about animals and dinosaurs. The guard gives him a personal development book in return.
Attitudes, brother. Easier said than done.
Once outside, Ray commits to starting fresh and never going back to prison. But he immediately encounters LaRue, his old friend and former partner in robbery. Ray tries to ignore him, though LaRue drives alongside him and keeps apologizing for what happened.
You can't ignore me forever. I'm here to help.
LaRue insists that Ray can return to the gang anytime, saying his spot has been waiting for him. Ray pretends to consider it and says he will come back only if he gets to drive. LaRue agrees without hesitation, but the moment Ray sits behind the wheel, he speeds off and leaves LaRue behind.
This is no way to continue a friendship!
Ray heads to his old apartment to clean up. He then studies a photo of his ex-wife and daughter.
See you tomorrow.
The next day, he visits his ex-wife, Lynn. She is startled to see him and surprised he is out, but she does not welcome him. She explains that she and their daughter have built a life without him. Ray asks for a chance to make things right, but she refuses and tells him to leave before Sally arrives.
Ray, you turn around and you leave right now.
Sally walks in anyway. Instead of being happy to see him, she grows upset and demands to know why he came. She tells him she does not want to see him and walks away.
I'm sorry, but I don't know what you expected.
Ray leaves the gift he brought for his daughter on the stairs and walks away. The next day, he goes to Sally's school to speak with her. He tells her that he has changed for her and that he intends to make up for all the years he was absent. Sally answers coldly, saying she will treat him the same way she treated him before, as if he is not part of her life at all.
Pretend you don't exist.
As Ray turns to leave, he hears fireworks in the distance. He follows the noise and discovers two students fighting. He steps in and separates them. A teacher named Miller witnesses what he does and thanks him for helping.
Yes, thank you, Mr.
Ray Bradstone. Sally's dead.
When she learns he is Sally's father, she asks why he never came to parent-teacher meetings. Sally quickly interrupts and claims her father was always busy with work. The school then mentions that they need a chaperone for an upcoming field trip and offers the spot to Ray.
The school trip is scheduled for next weekend, and we're short a chaperone. Oh.
When Sally hears this, she becomes upset and walks away. Ray goes after her and tries again to speak with her, but she refuses to listen.
You go on that field trip? I'm not.
That night, LaRue visits Ray at his place. LaRue tells him he is not angry about the stolen car and then asks Ray to come back to work with them, saying they cannot find another driver with his talent for escaping the police. Ray insists that LaRue is the reason he ended up in prison for 7 years, claiming he abandoned him and ran during their last job.
That's exactly why I'm here, bro. To try to make things right between us.
But LaRue keeps asking Ray to come back, saying he is getting a crew together. Hearing this, Ray nearly strikes LaRue while shouting that he lost 7 years with his family and daughter because of that betrayal, and he will not make the same mistakes again. Even though he is scared, LaRue still asks him to think about the offer.
You're one of us, since we were little kids.
The next day, Ray visits his ex-wife Lynn to talk about Sally. When he arrives, he meets a man he has never seen before, and the man introduces himself as Lynn's boyfriend.
Marvin Edmund. Dr. Marvin.
Ray then tells her he only wants a chance to rebuild his relationship with Sally. Lynn explains that she and Sally have moved forward without him, and that she is getting married now, while Sally already cares about her future stepfather. After much insistence, she agrees to give Ray a chance, but only if he proves he can be a responsible father and hold a stable job. Ray begins searching for work the next day. He goes from workshops to restaurants and anywhere that might hire him. Every attempt fails. Many places reject him because of his prison record.
Incarcerated.
Feeling defeated, he calls his favorite radio show and tells the host that life outside is far harder than he imagined. He admits he cannot adapt and says his relationship with his daughter is falling apart too. The doctor on the show tells him to be patient and assures him that things will improve with time.
You are her father, Ray. Don't ever forget that.
Ray returns home feeling discouraged, but things get worse when he discovers his house has burned down and everything he owned is gone. With no place to live and no opportunities left, he sees no choice but to accept LaRue's offer. He goes to LaRue's workplace and says he is ready.
Tell me about the bank.
The next day, Ray meets Goldie and Dale, and together they plan the robbery. Ray's role is to escape with the money as fast as possible. The gang enters the bank with weapons while Ray waits in the car. As he waits, he spots his daughter walking to school. Seeing her reminds him of when their bond was stronger. In that moment, he decides he cannot return to crime.
Not again.
Ray leaves the car behind, throws the keys away, and runs after the school bus. He asks Mrs. Miller if she still needs a chaperone, and when she says yes, he agrees to join the trip. Mrs. Miller then introduces him to the students as Sally's father. Sally is stunned when she sees him.
Take me now.
Meanwhile, the gang completes the bank robbery and rushes to the getaway car, only to find that Ray is gone and the keys are missing. They panic when they hear a police siren nearby.
Run!
Sally tells Ray to get off the bus, but he refuses. She storms away angrily. Meanwhile, Dale, who is carrying the money bag, trips over a student's backpack near the bus and drops the bag. In his panic, he leaves it among the students' belongings.
Money! Come on, we gotta go. That money ain't no good to us in jail. What?
The bus driver picks up the bag and places it with the other bags before continuing the trip. As they attempt to escape, the police car crashes into the gang. Dale is caught, while LaRue and Goldie flee in a stolen car. As they are driving, they see Ray in the school bus. They follow the bus only to crash into a large truck. Then they get out of their car and steal the car that they crashed with to keep following Ray. Meanwhile, the police question the bank employees and collect physical descriptions of the robbers. They also find a car key near some trees on the street. On the bus, Ray tries to talk to Sally, but she refuses to listen.
I don't hear you. You're not even on the bus.
Overwhelmed by the loud students, Ray suddenly stands up and announces sharply that he is in charge and very strict. He warns them that anyone who breaks the rules will face consequences. The students fall silent, frightened by his tone. When he sits back down, Mrs. Miller tells him he went too far and that his reaction was a mistake.
Thank you.
Feeling guilty, Ray returns to Sally and asks if he was too harsh. Sally is angry at first, but she notices her classmate Josh approaching them and greeting Ray politely. Seeing Josh show respect toward her father changes her attitude. Ray realizes she is impressed because Josh seems to admire him, and he also notices that Sally has a crush on the boy.
Oh, it was pretty loud.
Nice one.
The police gather fingerprints from the keys and then go to the hospital to speak with Dale, who is still mentally shaken from the accident. During the interview, the officer learns from Dale that the money bag ended up on a pretty bus. The officers are confused by the description.
What?
Around the same time, LaRue calls the school and asks for the location of the field trip, claiming his niece left her medicine behind. The principal gives him the location.
Music festival this evening.
After the call, Goldie speaks with LaRue and mentions that he suspects Dale and Ray have turned against them, since the money bag ended up on the same bus Ray boarded. LaRue begins to believe him. The school trip arrives at its first stop, the Dinosaur Museum. Mrs. Miller tries to guide the students, but they ignore her. Ray steps in and raises his voice, and suddenly, everyone listens. After he finishes, Sally overhears her classmates talking bad about her father, calling him tough and comparing him to criminals. This makes her even more upset.
Is this a field trip or basic training?
It's like a bad episode of Nanny 911.
In the museum, the students are told there is no docent that can give any explanation about the dinosaurs because he called in sick.
I'm sorry, but not at the moment.
No problem.
Hearing this, Ray steps forward and gives a detailed explanation of the dinosaur skeletons. He explains them confidently because he spent years reading about animals and dinosaurs in prison. The students enjoy his explanation and begin to interact with him.
Bears.
9.
Elephants.
Incorrecto.
While they continue through the museum, Ray spots LaRue and Goldie waiting for him. Anxiety hits him. He tells the students the tour is over, even though there is still plenty of time left, and heads straight to the bus.
Come on, everybody go with Stanley and get to the bus. I'll just meet you out there, right? It's all gonna work out.
On the way, he pulls the fire alarm and hides in the bathroom so he can trap LaRue and Goldie inside when they enter. As soon as they step in, he attacks them and knocks them to the ground. He tells them he has changed his mind and wants nothing to do with their crimes anymore.
I owe you nothing.
I think you broke my nose.
However, LaRue tells Ray that he already figured out his plan and even made an arrangement with Dale to leave the stolen money on the school trip's bus. Ray has no idea what they are talking about, but he warns both men to stay away from him and his daughter. He rushes out and tells the students he has planned a stop at French Street. Without waiting for the driver to return, Ray gets behind the wheel and drives the bus himself. LaRue and Goldie follow him, but when they see police officers near the museum, they quickly switch to a taxi to keep watching him from a distance. When the bus reaches French Street, Ray uses a moment of distraction among the students to open the bag. Inside, he finds the stolen money. He immediately calls LaRue and tells him to take the bag so everything can end without more trouble. LaRue and Goldie, who are already across the street, wait for him to come.
I'll be right here. I'll be here waiting.
But before Ray can move, a police car passes through the area. Officers spot LaRue and Goldie and begin chasing them. Ray manages to hide, while LaRue becomes convinced that Ray is secretly working with the police. He swears to get revenge.
Double-cross me again! You're dead!
Meanwhile, Sally stands near the shore, and Josh hears her singing. He tells her she has a beautiful voice and says her father must care about her deeply because he keeps trying to spend time with her. A girl approaches Josh and tries to talk to him, but he ignores her.
Oh, God. Sorry.
Lynn calls Sally to arrange a meeting, and Sally tells her that her dad is on the trip. Lynn cannot hear her clearly because of the loud music around her, and says she will call back later.
Bye. Bye.
At the same time, LaRue meets with another gang leader and asks for help getting the money back from Ray. After the students finish their walk on French Street, they go back to the bus. Mrs. Miller thanks Ray for suggesting the location, saying the students enjoyed it. When they arrive at a hotel to attend a music concert, she tells the students they have 2 hours to rest.
If you understand, raise your hands.
Ray steps off the bus and the driver returns the bag he had placed earlier when Ray was away. Ray takes it to his hotel room, opens it, and checks the contents. He then calls LaRue and says he has the money and wants to arrange a meeting. LaRue becomes furious and doubts him. As he argues on the phone, he hears a knock at the door. When he opens it, he is surprised to see Sally, who asks him to have a meal with her. He agrees quickly and tells her to wait outside the hotel. He then tells Ray he will meet him in 2 hours and confirms the location.
Got plans. You'll get your money.
Ray spends some time talking with Josh and learns what Sally likes. After that, he asks Mrs. Miller for permission to spend time with his daughter outside the trip schedule, explaining that he has been away from her for years because of work.
Chaperone, so she'll be in very good hands.
Ray and Sally go out together, and he begins sharing memories about her mother and the first moment he saw Sally as a baby. Sally eventually asks why he abandoned them and never sent letters for 5 years while she waited. Ray admits he felt ashamed and tried to distance himself, but he changed in prison. He tells her that after he began changing, he started sending letters again. Ray apologizes and promises he will make up for everything and never leave her again.
Was to find my way back to you.
Meanwhile, the police identify the fingerprints on the car key they found earlier. They contact the school to locate Ray and then go to Mrs. Miller to ask about him. She informs them that he left with his daughter. When she learns he is wanted for a bank robbery, she reacts with shock and fear.
Hey, okay, I want you to remain calm. Gather the kids and let's gather up over here.
Ray enjoys one of the happiest moments he has ever had with his daughter. When their outing ends, Ray tells her to return to the hotel while he walks for a bit. Back in the hotel, Sally sees the news about Ray listed as a wanted criminal accused of the bank robbery and of being on the run with a school bus. At the same time, Lynn sees the same news while getting ready to have dinner with her boyfriend. Shocked, she rushes to her daughter's school to make sure Sally is safe. Sally returns to her father, who is on the phone with the radio doctor. He tells the doctor he is grateful for how things have improved between him and his daughter. Sally confronts him, calling him a liar. She accuses him of still being a criminal and says all her friends saw the news about him. Ray insists he is not involved in the bank robbery. He repeats that he changed for her and wants to be the father she deserves. Sally believes him, and they walk back to the hotel together.
Let them take the heat for it.
When they arrive, Ray spots the police waiting. He hides and asks Sally to go upstairs and bring him the bag with the money. She retrieves it, but the bus driver catches her holding it and tries to return it to the bus. Sally distracts him, grabs the bag again, and brings it to Ray. She also tells him that Mrs. Miller is gathering everyone because the entire trip has been canceled.
I'll turn myself in.
They'll arrest you.
Ray tells Sally to go back inside with her classmates because it is the safest place. He apologizes for placing her in danger, says goodbye, and heads to the meeting point he set with LaRue. Meanwhile, LaRue and Goldie manage to kidnap Sally from the hotel. Ray faces the gang leader. They try to attack, but Ray fights back and overpowers all of them. LaRue calls Ray and orders him to bring the money if he wants to see his daughter again. Ray panics for his daughter's safety and tells the kidnappers that they are the ones who betrayed him. He learns their location, gets into a taxi, and begs the driver to help him rescue Sally and escape quickly. When Ray arrives, he tells LaRue that he will not hand over the money until Sally is safely inside the taxi. As soon as she gets in, the driver speeds away with the bag. Sally checks it and realizes it is the wrong one. She sees the gang opening the real bag and finding no money. She immediately understands that her father is now in serious danger. She asks the driver to stop, but he refuses, saying he's only following her father's instructions.
I have never had so much trouble giving somebody money.
When Sally gets back to the hotel, she finds the police questioning everyone about Ray. She tells them that her father is innocent and had nothing to do with the robbery because he was with the school group the entire trip. She then joins her classmates and pulls Josh aside, asking him to help her track her father. Two classmates, Ted and Simpson, overhear the conversation and decide to help.
Be able to help. Me too.
Simpson tracks Ray's phone and discovers his location. Ted sneaks out and sets off fireworks in the bathroom to create a distraction. When the fireworks explode, chaos breaks out, and the four of them slip away. They reach the bus and tell the driver that Mrs. Miller needs him urgently. Once the driver steps out, they get into the bus. Sally insists on taking the wheel even though she barely knows how to drive. Along with them is a popular kid who follows them during their escape. Meanwhile, LaRue and Goldie tie Ray up and beat him, trying to force him to reveal where the money is. LaRue accuses Ray of working with Dale against them. Ray tells him he never even knew Dale and reminds him that Dale was the one who introduced them on the day of the robbery.
Bullet that dwells in the brain leaves much pain.
Somehow, Sally manages to reach the place where Ray is being held. She and her friends quickly come up with a plan to rescue him.
So what's the plan?
Plan?
Ted uses fireworks again to pull attention away, and Goldie follows the sound until he sees Ted. Ray uses this distraction to set a trap and signals Josh and Sally to move. Sally hands the money bag to Ted and tells him to leave her father alone. Ray then calls the radio doctor he always speaks to.
Your kid's smarter than you, Ray.
It's Ray. Plain Ray.
The doctor then learns they have a crime in progress. She alerts the 911 but stays on the line. Sally soon learns from LaRue that her father was never involved in the robbery. Just as they are about to leave, the police arrive and arrest everyone. When the officers move to arrest Ray, one of them is informed by his colleague that Ray is innocent and that the whole city now knows he has been cleared. They release him.
I appreciate it.
Lynn arrives and runs to her daughter. When she sees Ray, she slaps him and says he was not worthy of the trust she gave him because he put their daughter in danger. Sally tries to explain, but Ray tells her to let her mother say what she needs to say because she is right to be upset.
I deserve that too.
Sometime later, Ray prepares for his new job. Sally asks if he plans to propose to her mother again. Ray smiles at her as the doorbell rings. He picks up a bouquet of flowers to give to Lynn, who is also holding a flower for him. They reconcile, rebuild their lives, and return to a happier and more stable life together. Ray then starts working on the radio. One day, he gets a call from LaRue because he was having a hard time adjusting. Ray gives him some short advice before ending the call.